4 habits that changed my life, and I am sharing it with you today. And the secret is they are small, but they make a massive difference in your life. So let's get going. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Claire. I'm a life and business coach, and I go crazy over AI automations, anything to save time, money, and location freedom. That's what we all want, that little bit of time to do the things that we want to do, go where we want to go, and be where we want to be. So if that is you, welcome to this channel, because today we are talking about 4 habits that changed my life, and I will most probably do it until I find something better. But in the meantime, let's go with number 1. The first one is a morning habit. Now, I used to be one of those people that if you woke me up, beware your soul, because I didn't want to wake up. I used to sleep and press that snooze button a million times a day. But, excuse me, here's the thing. I started with 5 minutes. 5 minutes, getting up earlier and just gather and sit in my thoughts. Now, prior to this, I didn't allow myself to go there because my thoughts were painful. I was mean to myself. I had this way of thinking that, wow, even today I look back and I think that was mean and that was terrible. So that was one of the first things I changed. It started with 5 minutes, and now I'm part of the 4:30 club that gets up, and I really spend that quiet time in the morning doing deep reflection and also segment intending. Now, for those of you who are not being coached by me, what is segment intending? And it's literally taking little segments of your day, and it's pre-paving the road. So let's say I've got a 9 o'clock meeting this morning. I would think to myself, what would be the best outcome of this meeting? What would I like to see? Who would I like to be there? What's the feeling I would like to get out of this meeting? And I kind of plan out the meeting into the feeling of what I actually want that meeting to be like. And then I go on to lunch, and then I go on to the drive to school, and I go on and on and on. And I kind of plan my whole day like that. Now, some days, if my day is shorter, I do it on the go, and other days I do it right in the beginning of the day. This tiny change, I wish if there's one tool and one tool only, I would recommend this being your first, and most probably only if you could just choose one. Excuse me, because what it did was I went from a life of deep sorrow, regret, hurt, and just living life, and life taking me on the journey to now me reclaiming that and building the life that I actually want. So that is your first tip for today. Number 2 is create a dream that you can achieve. And I think I used to do this big dream out there and hope, pray, wish, go on my knees, go and please, not realizing that that dream was so big, and because it was so big, I didn't achieve it. It made me feel like a failure. And the more I felt like a failure, the more that inner little voice told me I was a failure, because that's what was showing up. And because of that, it was very difficult to move forward. And therefore, why even bother? Why try, right? Because we are just looking at life from this, like, I'm a failure point of view. But when I started saying, well, what dream do I want that I can achieve? And I started there and saying, right, this is maybe a week out, this is a year out, this is a dream, but I know, I can achieve this. And I started actually doing things daily to the dream. And in my case, it was I had to create a system for myself to remind me of the dream and to break it down into smaller tasks, because I was a dreamer and not a doer. But you need the balance of having both in your life. And I think that is one of the most crucial things when you are building dreams and when you are visualizing and you're creating this dream, is the doing part. So many of us just want and pray and it's not happening and we're a failure, but we're not actually doing something. So I went and I got myself one of these Notion packages. If you haven't used Notion, get Notion, because it is free. Yes, there's some paid tiers to it, but it is free, and you can organize your entire life on one page. It just clears your head because all of this is on a page. And now you can take a big dream and you can break it in chunks and you can actually see your progress. Now, instead of feeling like a failure, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you are actually getting there and you see tangible results. Like you want to build a business that does X amount in revenue. There you go. You want to work on your relationship, but you don't know how to get there. And now you can look back going, I did this and this and this, and this is how far we came together. And here's the outcome. You can see it. It's a really helpful tool if you are somebody like me who just wished, hoped, and didn't see and didn't work on it because it was a dream. Now I'm making my dreams a reality with a system. That is what I needed. The third one, and it's a big one, people, is stop controlling. And this has been a very hard journey for me. And I'm sure if you are trying to control yourself and the world and things around you, it is a struggle and life is going to grab you by the horns and it's going to tornado you to the other side of the world. Here's the thing. When we control, what we are doing is we are surely hoping for a not cool outcome because we cannot control everything. Now, there's parts in your life you control and parts you don't. You don't even think about controlling because you know you can't. So what is the difference? Let me give you a good example. When you woke up this morning, did you try and control the weather? Was it raining? Was the sun shining? Was it windy? Was it winter, summer, autumn, spring? No, we adjust with or to the weather. I see it raining, I take my umbrella or my raincoat, right? I see the sun's out, I wear maybe a t-shirt or something cooler for the day, or I take a sun hat with me, or I could even take, if I'm going to the beach, a beach umbrella with me. You see, we adjust to that. And this was a great lesson for me, is sitting and realizing that I cannot control life. I can only control what I am doing with what's given to me. But I was so trying to, this one has to be like this, and this has to be like that, and that person has to do this, and this outcome has to be like this. Otherwise, it makes this of me. I put meaning to everything in my life. And let me tell you something. When you start putting meaning to life, it is surely one of the fast ways into a spiral that you can really battle to get out of. So don't even go there. I think I'm speaking for many because my clients are sitting in the same spot where we try and control everything. And it is that control that is the thing that hurts us most. So you're going to say, well, Claire, how am I going to not control anymore? Like there has to be a certain part of control. Is remind yourself, can I control the weather? No. Can I control what another person is doing and maybe swerved across the road? Can I control him? Well, no. Can I try and avoid that accident coming? Sure, I can. Oh, if I'm in an accident, can I make the most of this? Help that person. We don't know what happened. He could have had a stroke behind the wheel. You see, things happen for us, and that's another one for another day. But in the meantime, understanding when you are holding on so tight to control, these rope burns on your hands become so sore and you become so tired and you use so much energy that you literally battle to breathe. Everything becomes hard and everything is a hard journey, and you start seeing life as difficult and hard and uncomfortable. And these are the things I want you just for a moment to think about. When you didn't control things, how did it go? Versus when I try to control things, I bet it didn't work out, right? So if you are really controlling right now in whatever it is that you're doing, you just ask yourself, how can I be less controlling? How can I be more trusting? How can I rather have support or ask for support than later sit with a big problem, a bigger problem than what I actually have? So my last one is something that comes with practice and practice and practice. But man, when you get it, it is phenomenal. So, that's my saying, phenomenal living. And that is living in the present. We're either in the past thinking about something going on there, or we're in the future trying to create something there that this is happening right now, and we forget to live the moment. How many times have you grabbed your phone and gone into your photos and just looked at some of the photos and realized, oh man, I actually wasn't so present in that moment. I was snapping away pictures and didn't even see that, or what was that person thinking? What was their emotion? Like, should I be in there for that person a little bit rather than being in my own head? And that's the things that we miss when we're not in the moment. So how do you get in the moment? And this is a very cool exercise, and it's simply this: get into your senses. What do you hear? What do you hear right now? Just be quiet and listen. What's the closest noise you're hearing? And what's the furthest noise you can hear right now? You are just in the present. What do you smell right now? What do you taste right now? What do you see? Look at 5 things that you see. Look at the colors. Feel the textures. Feel the warmth, the cold. Look at things. I've often just looked at something and I've been holding the same thing in my hand, or even your phone, for such a long time. But when you look at it and really look, you see things that you haven't seen, even though you've had this phone in your hand for years. And simply because we were not present. Now, what presence does, the more you are present, the more you are really enjoying this moment, the more you start seeing the goodness life is actually offering you. Otherwise, it all passes you, and years later you look at this and go, oh, I miss that, or I miss that, or if only I spent more time with this. Why? Because we weren't as present as what we were hoping to be. So start small. Start with your senses. If you feel overwhelmed, just go into your senses. Just smell something, touch something, look at something, listen, feel, stand outside. That's my favorite practice. Go and stand on the grass, let my feet actually feel the grass. Go and pick a leaf and look at the leaf, smell the leaf, look at the vines. And I know you think this is silly, but if you try it, you start practicing presence every day. You start practicing being present with another person instead of on your phone or with your mind being somewhere else. And you really start listening. You really start being present to what that person is feeling and going through right now. It's like everything in your life takes a backseat, going like, oh, this is what it means to be human, to really be there for each other as a community and person that is important in my life, rather than the 2 minutes I quickly had to see this ad that had no relevance in my life, or the funny YouTube clip that had no relevance in my life down the line. As a old paramedic, being on the road for many, many years, I can tell you one thing. I have been with many people on their last moments. And people don't wish for time, money, maybe time. They don't wish for, money and things. They wish for the time they had with people, the moments, the memories. They want more of that. And my message to you is, don't let your life go past to that moment for you to realize then instead of now. Start living in the moment right now. So these are 4 things that changed my life, and I hope they are there to change your life too. If you start implementing this a day, even a minute a day, and you start building on that, you're going to look back at your life a year or 2 down the line and realize, oh, wow, my life is and has changed so, so, so much. Everything is now starting to happen for me. And it starts with the little changes, the things that you don't think holds any value. Those are the things that become so valuable you can't do without it later. So yes, I do coaching, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and I also do training in automating your life. I also do a whole stack of other things. So if you don't know me, like, subscribe. Otherwise, just keep watching and just join this community of people that are open, honest. We say things as it is. we deal with our battles, we're there for each other, and we keep growing day by day. I can't wait to see you for the next video. We'll see you soon. Have a super fun, amazing, phenomenal day.